Hi there. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back to my channel if you're not. I'm Celine. I'm a breast cancer thriver, is what I've chosen to identify as now after a number of years. And the purpose, really, I set up my channel to share, what I've learned as I've gone on this journey of overcoming a great challenge in my life and others, and really coming out the other side transformed. So it's an ongoing journey, and I have just reached a place where the sky feels like it's the limit, in my life, and I really would love to see that for others. I have ups and downs, as we all do, but it's a whole different way of being and relating to life. So that's really my intention with this channel, because I want to continue on learning and growing, and I wish the same for you and to support you in any way I can. It's been a while since I've been on myself. I've shared a few interviews that you might have seen, and I hope you enjoy them if you watch them. They're all quite different, but they've come about as a result of my new book, which I'm sure you might have heard of if you've listened to me, Gifts from the Devastation. But it's a big one for me, because it was the first time really honestly sharing my story and my vulnerabilities and the journey that I've been on and continue to go on, and how the sort of secrets of that, for me, that transformation that continues. And I'm so passionate about sharing that, because I just know, I feel like I'm just really getting a taste of what's possible. And as I said, I wish that for you. So in listening to the interviews, if you choose to do so, they're all quite different, because as you know yourself, every interaction with a different person brings up something new and different. And I've been learning and enjoying them so much. But I wanted to come on, particularly if you're new to the channel, just to say hello. I also just wanted to share a little story with you that might resonate with some of you, and I hope will help you if you've been feeling the same. And I'm calling it Stuck in a Rut, as I've been known to do from time to time. And last week was one of those times. It wasn't a major rush, but I could feel myself a little bit stuck. I've had some major periods of being stuck in my life, and I hope now I've sort of worked through a lot of those bigger issues, but it'll always happen. So I just want to share this little story with you, and some lessons, I suppose, for myself and for you, or tips that I hope you will find helpful if you find yourself in this position. So just as I said, I've been doing a lot of interviews about my book. I just had a lot of work on, which I've loved, really enjoying. But I hit a point somewhere the middle of last week. It's happened at different times, where I knew I could feel this sort of tension in me. I could feel this urge to do more, and that I wasn't doing enough. And there was also a tug of war going on another side of me going, you need to rest, you need to recharge, you need to sort of come back inside. And I could feel that, but I was resisting it. And as a result, I was feeling quite stuck, and I could feel myself getting a little stressed. Now, I was lucky in that, firstly, I was very aware of what was happening, because it's an old pattern for me. I was getting out of balance again. And it's been a big part of, I don't know if you identify in the same way, but I would have learned through the whole experience with breast cancer and my life that I had lived very much from my male energy, which, was on the right side. So I was living, and we need both. Need both really to be in balance. We all have the masculine and feminine energy. So I would have been very much in survivor, independent, doing mode, and not really embracing or allowing in my creativity, my intuition, my vulnerability, my softness. And that's a journey that's ongoing for me, but I can feel it coming back into balance, and I can feel that sort of movement all the time. So I knew I was going back into my old reflex survival mode of do, do, do. This is how you sort of come through something. So I was aware of it. So what happened, just to tell you, there was two different situations. Now, again, I think this was because I was quite alert and aware to it. I feel like I was sent a couple of human messengers, which we often are, to remind me, firstly, that I'd gone very much as well into my head and do. I needed to drop down into my heart inside. I needed to feel what was going on. I needed to listen. I needed to really embrace more the feminine, as I sort of, connecting in with myself and having that sort of inner dialogue. And the minute there were just two situations where, I don't know if those people were conscious of not or not, but I know that's what it was, our higher selves, and they were pointing me to something that the minute I heard their words, it just sort of landed in me, and I went, okay. So what I did in that moment, then I changed my plans for the day, and I dropped everything. I unplugged, no phone, no technology, and I just headed out for a walk down to the beach. And I normally often will bring a phone because there's something I want to listen to, but I said, no, nothing. And the minute I set off, I actually just felt, I just breathed and I felt so relaxed. I ended up down on the beach, the tide was out, and I sort of was going along the rocks. And that even got me really in the moment because I had to focus on my balance. And then suddenly I just felt the stillness come over. I could feel I had sort of dropped down into my heart. I felt this stillness, I connected in, and this little, I only can say little poem bubbled up inside of me. I literally had to sit in a rock and it just flooded out. And I got it down, and that wasn't the point, but it just happened, and it was a real message that I needed, that sort of balance. I'd gone out of balance. I needed to connect in with my, creative source energy. Go back to source and plug in there. And what is it I need to hear, and what is it I need to know, and what is it I need to do? So that was just so powerful. And I think that was just the message that just came through because there was space. So I had a lovely walk, came home, I was in nature, and I did a bit of reflection on it. I did some, I'll talk about now just a couple of things I'd suggest if you're finding yourself in that position. I don't want to make this video too long, but that was just a little story that really helped me. So some of the lessons or maybe tips out of that if you're in the same boat and feeling it from time to time, I think the first thing is, if you're aware and you're saying, God, I'm really getting stuck and I'm in this old pattern again. I mean, that even in itself is really powerful, because it means that there's an aspect of you that is sort of detached from what's going on and can see, okay, I'm going into an old pattern here. I need to do something about it. Like, it's the old programming. I was in a lot of my old programming that when I'd feel a little bit maybe afraid or what's going on, I would revert to doing, but there was nothing to fear. And once I started to separate a bit, I could see, yeah, this is just an old program that's running, and you need to just, fine tune and recenter again. So that's really powerful. If you're saying that to yourself, I'd say well done, because you're recognizing that, yeah, this is all about resisting the flow. And for me, that's the most important thing in my life now, to be in that flow, to connect in with my source, where and that rhythm and flow of my own life. That's just a beautiful place to be, and how we're designed to live. I really believe that. So when that happens, so if you come into a place of recognizing that there may be different reasons, not going into that here, but there could be a lot of, maybe it's a more extended period of being stuck you're going through, or maybe it's just some little bump that's come up in the road. But just even to ask yourself, what do I need to do here, to help myself? Now, the unplugging, I think, is really important, because at least you're just giving yourself a bit of space. I find when I'm whether, there's so many things to be distracted by, whether it's emails, going on YouTube, all of that. And they can all be very helpful, but they're keeping you a little bit removed from yourself. And if that resistance is showing up, you need to sort of check back in and listen and see what it is you need. So the unplugging, getting out into nature, I'm sure you know this, but it is so powerful. And to do it without anything with you, the difference when you completely unplug and just allow yourself to be present with what's around you. And nature is a great teacher. It reminds us of the cycles and the rhythms of life and just the simplicity of being, and the beauty of it. Also, as well, in doing that, it'll probably bring you back into your body. And, maybe there's something coming up for you. Maybe there's some old, energy that's still stuck in your body, and maybe is coming up and is ready to be released. Maybe it's some experience or something that happened that maybe has caused you to get into that mode and tighten up. So you're in your body just even to feel into that. Now, whether you have your own practices, or maybe you go to someone, whether you might need to get some, it's always wonderful to have some sort of energy work or somatic work that sort of moves energy in your body, whether it's Reiki or other things, or that you can do on yourself. I have a breathwork practice as well that I do that helps sort of keep. So anytime I find myself getting into that very tight mode, I sort of go into one of those practices. Another thing maybe to consider is to look at doing something quite creative that you enjoy and that keeps you in the moment and will help sort of bring you back down into your heart, out of your head. I like to do things like journaling is always very powerful, particularly if you're sort of struggling with what is it exactly that's going on. And once you stay with it, I often follow the Artist's Way book. Well, I did for quite a long time. And the journaling, doing 3 pages of longhand writing, even first thing in the morning, and getting beyond the sort of to-do list and into more the unconscious, what's really going on behind it. That can be a really good practice. Whether you enjoy, writing or painting, or, the mindful drawing where you can get the little pattern, the little detailed drawings to do those coloring books. So anything creative, or even getting out in the garden, if you like gardening. So there are things that I would suggest if you're feeling yourself a bit stuck. And also, as I mentioned, maybe to get support, depending on how big this is in your life, maybe you need to talk it through. Maybe it's an old pattern that's coming around. Like, I recognized what was happening in the little story behind it. I won't go into it here, but I might talk about that again in another video. But it was, to me, it's like another layer. We're always going a layer deeper into sort of healing and maybe releasing something that we've been holding on to. And it's very freeing, even though there can be a little bit of discomfort when we do that. It's very freeing, and just more creativity and light and joy and flow comes in to replace it, when we're doing it consciously. So I'll leave it there. I hope some of those, I just wanted to share that story because it was a big one for me. It's funny, like there was more to it, but something really shifted in me when I did all of those things, and particularly when I brought awareness to it. So be alert to those people around you as well. We're always sent, it's a major thing I talk about a lot as being, we often need other people as the key to the, maybe what we need to hear or do or learn, and the next step of our journey. So just pay attention as well to the people around you, maybe things they say. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed that video. I would love if you're watching this and watching me for the first time and you do like my content, please like and subscribe, share, drop a comment if there's something else you would like to share on this topic or some other topic you'd like me to discuss. If you'll see there's a link below if you would like to join my mailing list. You will get a copy of a free guide, 6 Signs You're Getting a Spiritual Wake-Up Call. So I wrote that because that was really the start of me sort of waking up to and going on this journey of healing and joy and transformation in my life. So it might be something that will resonate with you. So thank you so much for watching. And I'll be sharing some other interviews that I'm doing right now, and I hope you enjoy. And I'll also be coming back on with other content. Thank you very much and have a wonderful week or day ahead. Thank you.